In this week's episode of Laurel Board of Trade, Jamila Romero stops by and tells us about her business, Lofty Stories.
So I've had numerous customers tell us that they wish that they had these books when they were growing up, because again, it's not something that is predominantly seen. And so we've had numerous grandparents, grandmothers, grandfathers, aunts, uncles get the books for their nieces, nephews, grandchildren, because they didn't have that same representation. And one of my most memorable ones was seeing a little girl. She was looking at the A to Z Black Girl book. She was actually not where we were at, but we were at an event. She saw the book, she ran over and she was like, "Look, Mommy, it's me." And it just reminded me of why we are creating the books that we're creating.
We also talk with Dr. Pauline Belton from Open Conversations and Your Therapy Doctor.
Well, I've always been a helper. So in my field, I've been a school counselor, I've been a assistant principal, I've been all over in terms of mental health. And in that token, for me, mental health is everything.
All that and more next.
Hey everyone, and thanks for tuning in. This is Around Town with the Laurel Board of Trade, where we shine a spotlight on some of the amazing local businesses and charitable organizations in our community. I'm your host, Mike Mondy, real estate consultant with Keller Williams Realty Center, and I'm also one of the directors for the Laurel Board of Trade. Thank you for joining us today. Today, I'm here with Jamila Romero, author and owner of Lofty Stories, a company that produces educational and empowering children's literature. Welcome, and thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So tell me, what inspired you to start your own business?
Yes, so I was inspired to start my business because I am an educator, and within education, throughout the years, I was able to see the discrepancy in terms of lack of representation for children of color as well as those with varying abilities, and I wanted to help change that narrative. So I started Lofty Stories, which is my business, to aim for creating children's books currently that provide representation to children of color, various backgrounds, as well as those that may have varying abilities.
I love that. So how would you describe the company further from there?
So Lofty Stories not only promotes children's books, but the books themselves are learning mechanisms. So the books teach the alphabet. They also extend vocabulary through affirming affirmations, as well as serve as an opportunity to provide dialogue and self-reflection through interactive questions. So even with parents, it kind of serves as a resource tool for parents that have questions and conversations with their children, and they're able to see how their child evolves over time with their thought process regarding the questions that are posed.
Oh, I love that. So tell me, I would imagine over the years you probably faced a challenge or two. What has that been like as far as facing challenges as the founder of the company?
So I know one of the biggest things for me was initially determining since I wanted to focus in on creating books, was determining if I wanted to go the traditional route or more of a self-publishing route. I ended up taking the self-publishing route because I wanted to be able to have more control and autonomy over what I wanted to present and have there be. Again, my focus was representation. I didn't want to have someone else changing what I wanted my books to portray. And again, I wanted everybody to be able to see themselves within the characters of our books. So currently our books have 18 different characters across 3 different books that we currently have. We have our A to Z Black Girl affirmations, A to Z Black Boy affirmations, as well as A to Z Children affirmations book. And I just wanted to make sure that narrative wasn't being changed. So that was one of the biggest things, is just determining that route and being able to then navigate that and finding the proper professional resources needed for that and everything. And it's a small business. It's just, it can be challenging in itself, just finding those professional resources. So.
Wow, okay. Well, tell us, do you have any memorable customer stories or maybe testimonials?
Yes, so I've had numerous customers tell us that they wish that they had these books when they were growing up, because again, it's not something that is predominantly seen. And so we've had numerous grandparents, grandmothers, grandfathers, aunts, uncles get the books for their nieces, nephews, grandchildren because they didn't have that same representation. And one of my most memorable ones was seeing a little girl. She was looking at the A to Z Black Girl book. She was actually not where we were at, but we were at an event. She saw the book, she ran over and she was like, "Look, Mommy, it's me." And it just reminded me of why we are creating the books that we're creating, for everyone to be able to see themselves.
Is there any upcoming projects or new offerings maybe that you'd like to share with us?
Yes, definitely. So currently we're working on creating additional products. So our current products that we're working on are, we have our Lofty Stories stickers. So each of the characters has their own personal sticker as well as magnets that individuals can purchase to accompany their books. We're also in the process of working on a 4th installment of our A to Z affirmation series, as well as working on children's coloring and activity books. And one thing that I'm really excited about is Lofty Stories is partnering with Makers of Maryland. So starting March 1st, you'll be able to find all of our products in the Makers of Maryland store in at the Avenue in White Marsh.
Okay, all right. Are there any final thoughts that you'd like to leave our viewers with?
Yes, so I would love viewers to know that representation is key, it is necessary, and for our children specifically, we want them to be able to see themselves in all aspects of life. And Lofty Stories A to Z affirmation books, again, that's A to Z Black Girl affirmations, A to Z Black Boy affirmations, as well as A to Z Children affirmations, is a perfect opportunity for you to embed that representation and provide that diversity and inclusivity to your children, while also teaching them.
Well, Jamila, thank you so much for joining us today, sharing us more about Lofty Stories and just the wide array of things that you cover. You know, the representation is key, as we all know. Yes. And just thank you for doing what you do out in the world.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Next up, we'll be talking with another Laurel Board of Trade member, Dr. Pauline Belton, owner and mental health care provider at Open Conversations and Your Therapy Doctor.
36 years, it's a long, you know, sometimes it feels like an eternity and sometimes it feels like it was yesterday. Saw an ad like, Laurel, you know, that I was coming from Virginia. I said, so let's give it a try. Came in, had the interview, thought this is a nice little town. This seems like this will be a great opportunity. So started working in the Department of Parks and Recreation as a program specialist.
Today I'm here with Dr. Pauline Belton, owner and mental health care provider at Open Conversations and Your Therapy Doctor. Welcome and thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Well, tell us, what inspired you to get into business for yourself? Wow.
Well, I've always been a helper. So in my field, I've been a school counselor, I've been a assistant principal, I've been all over in terms of mental health. And in that token, for me, mental health is everything. And so when I started my businesses, it was because so many of my constituents, meaning the people I employed or was with, brought me their problems. They wanted to talk to me, and they couldn't find a therapist that they trusted or felt comfortable with. And I became that person. And so I switched from being an administrator in the school system to being a therapist.
Wow. So tell us more about Open Conversations.
So Open Conversations is my private practice. It's what actually inspired me to be the person that I wanted to be in therapy. Having open conversations, ensuring that people were able to be comfortable, to not make mental health so heavy and such a burden. Some people take mental health and they think that it is something to be shy about, where it is something that we live out every day. It's how we think, how we feel, and how we behave. And I wanted people to come in and feel comfortable. So I built and founded Open Conversations, and that's what we do as a model for therapy.
Okay. Now tell us about Your Therapy Doctor.
Your Therapy Doctor is my persona. It is me going out in the community, doing trainings, doing workshops. Your Therapy Doctor is the sister or brother to Open Conversations. I train leaders on emotional intelligence. I train leaders in workshops, and I also do keynote speaking on mental health in the workplace. It is such a needed niche right now where people are just having a very hard time, and they think that just because they walk outside of their door that mental health stops. It doesn't. It is with you all the time, whether you're at home or in the workplace. And so I go into businesses and I train teams and organizations on mental health in the workplace.
Wow. Okay, that is super unique. So tell me, are there any local partnerships or collaborations that have been beneficial to you?
Well, mental health in, let's see, how can I put that? So partnerships, you said, right?
Partnerships,
So
collaborations.
partnerships, collaborations. I collaborate with other mental health specialists. I collaborate with physicians' offices. I also collaborate with the Laurel Board of Trade. I actually am a part of the Main Street Festival. We are out there spreading resources, information, so that mental health is out there in the community.
Okay. So tell us, is there anything new or upcoming that you'd like to share with everybody?
Oh, yes, Mike. There's a lot going on. I am in the process of writing a book that will be launched at the end of March. And so that book is called The Heart of Resilient Leadership. It is a book that is dedicated to bringing mental health into the workplace so that everyone has the ability to be in a healthy environment. Mental health doesn't stop just because we left the house or we entered our jobs. It's always with us. And people don't leave work because of work. They leave work because of people. And I wanted to put that in a decent but also transformative platform. And it's going to be out March 2025.
That's awesome. So is there any final thought that you'd like to leave the viewers with?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I want to let the community know, everyone know, mental health is not silent. It is who we are. It is our thoughts, our feelings, our behaviors. And the more that you learn about you, the more that you learn about everyone around you, the better our world is, our communities are, and the better you are. If you're looking for mental health services for your individual, family, or couples, then go to openconversationsllc.com. If you are looking for training, workshop, or key speaker for your next event at work, then go to yourtherapydoctor.com and we will be more than happy to service you. I look forward to seeing each and every one of you at the Laurel Festival in May and also in your organizations. Have a good day.
Thank you, Dr. Belton, very much for sharing with us more about your businesses and just everything that you do there out in the community. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us today. If you have a business or organization and you would like to be featured, please reach out to us. We would love to learn more and shine the spotlight on you. You can send us a message on Facebook or go to our website, laurelboardoftrade.org. Also on our website, you can learn more about the Laurel Board of Trade and all the benefits and the many events that we sponsor, including Main Street Festival, which is coming up on Saturday, May 11th. We also invite you to join us for business networking every third Thursday of the month online, virtually, and in person once per quarter at one of our member businesses right here in Laurel. We have a powerful mix of business leaders that can help expand your network. Well, that's a wrap from the Laurel Board of Trade. Our tagline is small business, big ideas. Remember everybody, get out there and shop local. And we'll see you next time.